Hi, I'm Brian Torff, and I'm here today with some fantastic musical instruments that really tell a story about American music, life, culture, and it is a story that's continuing on and on. I'd like to demonstrate some of these sounds for you today. Let's start with the West African djembe drum. Enslaved people come over starting in 1619, and they bring with them the power of the drum to communicate to the spirits. Now you think of communicating today as something you do through a cell phone, but we didn't have those back then, obviously, and so what we had then was the African ability to speak through musical instruments and communicate things that maybe we couldn't put into words. So the djembe is an example then of that African drum coming forward. But Africans also brought over the bells, which were an important part. The bell pattern in West African music is essential. And so the bells sounded like this. Now, that sound is going to be transferred eventually in the 20th century to the drum set and to the ride cymbal, and so now playing blues, country, whatever kind of music you hear, this cymbal sound is going to be there. So now what we have then is really the ability of these instruments to modernize and to become more evolutionary. A lot of people know that African music is very dependent on the drums. The drums tell the story, but that isn't where it stops. The bent note concept of African singing is very different from, let's say, a European style, which is more literally what is on the page. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. But that's not the way Africans in America sang. They sang with a bent note sound like this. One of these days, Captain, and it won't be long, you'll look for me, and I'll be gone. Well, that transferred then to musical instruments like the German invented harmonica. And the harmonica really was not made to play this style of music, but particularly African Americans who had this bent note sound made the instrument talk in a different way, like this. So pretty soon you're going to start hearing that on the saxophone and the trumpet and even on the guitar. The banjo is more popular than the guitar in the 1800s, but that starts to change in the 1900s. Delta blues players who were singing and playing in juke joints started the idea of slide guitar. And slide guitar was taking a beer bottle or a copper slide like I have and making the instrument talk in that bent note style like this. And it changed the whole voice of the instrument, and it's still a fantastic slide that we hear today in blues and country music, rock, and on and on and on. But that story doesn't end there, because once electricity and technology started to enter into music, we started with the electric guitar in the late 30s, 1940s, and pretty soon by the 1950s, the idea of electrifying the bass really would be the key to the rock sound of the future. And it kind of opened up all kinds of possibilities, because you could hear it through a wall in the apartment next door. It really carried and it drove the music. all these instruments really, to me, tell a story about not just music, but about America, the diversity of American life built on a culture of all different types of people, races, cultures, etc., coming together and doing something I think is absolutely wonderful, bringing the past forward, being able to evolve from one generation to the next, to be able to take the instruments and sounds and then modernize them with each coming generation. And I just think that that is such a tremendous example of what America really is. It is a culture that we should all be proud about, and I'm so delighted to be a part of it. Thank you.